Welcome to Caribbean Millennials.
Well. It's a new year. You know who it is, guys. The Caribbean Millennials. We're back. I know you guys probably missed us. We had to take a little break, but we've returned to, chat with you guys, let what's going on in the world, give you all our take and our perspective on what's going on. I hope everyone had a happy new year, had a Merry Christmas, enjoyed their time with their family and friends, and got that much needed rest and relaxation. So, without further ado, Adani, how was your Christmas? How much cake did you eat?
Let me tell you,
Oh
all
boy.
right. There isn't there isn't a number quantifiable high enough for the amount of kick I had, right? I had, right, 4 to 6 different. I can't remember because the rum make finger lazy.
Mm,
The rum
But it
or the
was
peanut punch? Or...
both
combination. Okay, okay.
because the ice cream was rum and raisin. The the kick had rum in it,
Oh
and
boy.
then it was chased down with peanut punch of
Oh,
of the strongest variety
my
in the
dog might be an alcoholic at this point.
in the 5 liter bottles, and then a little splash of bounty for some razzle dazzle.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
So
I like how you call
my
it
cake,
razzle dazzle.
yeah, my cake budget was satisfied. Peanut punch budget was satisfied. Ham budget satisfied. Gift budget satisfied. Christmas, all things considered, with the viral human malware, was pretty damn good. We had a
Okay, okay.
bonfire, small crowd only, and then New Year's we brought in with a few close friends, and yeah, that was basically Christmas in a nutshell. 2 weeks of just family.
Yeah. Sounds like a nice vibe.
Yeah, as it should be, man. That sounds so lovely.
Yeah, we had fun.
Okay,
And
okay.
the family had a good time. We played games. We had like Jenga and Monopoly, and if you're not teaching us about cards, like yeah, was was good. Was good. Can't complain.
Okay, okay. Anushka, how was your Christmas and New Year's?
It was so magical, y'all. Being home with the love of my life,
Oh,
having our first Christmas in our home,
abode.
following traditions and just cooking up a storm. And it was our first year of like doing ham and lamb. And let me tell you, meat man husband Vernon came through. Like I'd want to say like that was probably one of our like best Christmas lunches. Like it was so good.
What's up
Um
there?
Gifts front, I got like almost everything I wanted. But I mean kind of like a Danny, it was just kind of good to spend time with family and like just it was just us like in the house, but it was good enough. It was intimate, it was close, we got to relax. There wasn't no like like ordinarily before we would have been like going all over the place for Christmas and like even to like all of these holiday parties, having to dress up and whatever. And like while it was all fun and good, like it was kind of good just having like a chill Christmas, like without all of the like frou kind of extra stuff. Um, yeah, so that was ours, and then New Year's we did another like fun dinner, and we started back work this past week, and that was a ride. But we'll
I
get
have
into that
realized
a little bit.
I have realized I should have become a drug dealer.
Oh my gosh.
When I started back work on Monday, by like 12 o'clock, I was like, oi, like, what am I doing with my life? Why am I here? My coworkers, they just, very annoying to me. But all things aside, yes, Christmas was amazing for me because part of the thing was throughout the year, because of like COVID and like working from home, I didn't take much paid time off.
Mm-hmm.
So when like November hit, I realized I had like a whole bunch of PTO and I had to use it because my company is like you like use it or lose it. So I took it all, and for most of December I was off and I was just chilling. Like I had plans to like study and like do some stuff. I did none of that. I just relaxed, like watch TV with Anushka, play some video games. Like that was it. It was a much needed rest that I didn't know I needed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, 2021, back at work, back working hard, set some goals for myself, and, trying to work towards them and whatnot. Just the usual. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess kind of like at this point, right, we've already experienced a full week of 2021, right? And it was so kind of funny and interesting when it was um New Year's Eve and everyone was like, "Oh my god, yes, 2020 is over," and like I'm ready for this like whole dawn of a new day. And
Yeah.
that kind of thing. But we started back work this week on the 4th, and this even after that like long Christmas break, because we were both off from like the 14th or 15th of December. It was very like strange, and it was like the longest work week ever. I ended up talking to some of you guys on social media, and everyone was struggling this week, and let alone the events of this past week, right,
I
to
don't know.
add into the mix.
So I want to be honest. This week didn't seem that long for me. I felt like it went by quickly, but I felt like a lot of madness also happened in it.
I feel
That's
like
the thing.
this first week felt like I don't know, a very long period of time. Like just even with like the series of events, like it felt like things that would you would usually see happen over like a few week period of time
Oh no, that
was
happened
just
in a matter of
yeah,
days,
exactly.
hours.
Yeah.
Like wild,
Yeah.
crazy week.
Yeah. So I mean, if we kind of just have to touch on some things from probably I don't know, just we know the big event we're gonna talk about. Y'all know, y'all know what it is already. But things that happen, I guess. Butch Stewart passed away.
Yeah,
That was like for those of you who don't know, Butch Stewart is like the founder and I guess founder and chairman of Sandals Resorts.
yeah,
He was a Jamaican and like pioneer, right, in the hotelier tourism
yeah.
space
Yeah.
for like being a Caribbean person to start a major hotel brand like that, right? That like Sandals, right, has a worldwide
Worldwide no
known
recognition.
identity,
Yeah.
right? So just like a marketing guru, great businessman.
Yes.
And I know Sandals, as with any brand and any person, there's the good and bad, like people will have to say. But I mean, especially when people pass away, you always try to
No, no,
kind
no.
of
Well,
remember the good, but also just the amount of lives he touched and impacted solely just from an employment perspective, right?
well,
And that it's like local, quote unquote, like
yeah.
local.
Not to cut you off. I mean, when in a case of something like this, I do like I do. I'm not focusing on salary. I focus on the individual,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody dies. Always sad that someone
Mm-hmm.
dies. Whether no matter what their business did, no matter how
Right.
someone feels about their business, it's sad that the man died, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like, was he sick or something? Because I
it,
don't
it
know.
seemed that he was sick, but
Okay.
they did not want to disclose what
Ah.
he had been sick with or suffering from. So it said he had been in the US for some time, I guess,
Mm.
fighting or whatever, but they did not say what. what
Yeah, yeah,
what it was. And I mean, people are entitled to that
oh
kind
yeah,
of medical and health privacy kind of
yeah.
thing.
I mean, look at that. There's this rapper MF Doom. He died. You know when MF Doom died?
It was in like October or
He died on
something.
Halloween.
Yeah,
Yeah, and they just announced it like
2 months later.
yeah, 2 months
Yeah.
later. So I mean, yeah, you know. So I mean, condolences. It sucks that he died. I mean, I hope his family doing okay. Yeah. What
Yeah,
else? What else
yeah.
happened?
I must say, as a businessman, he was very transformative, and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
not. I mean, sandals is a whole other cup of tea, but as a businessman, to be able to make that many resorts in that many islands
Yeah,
at
man.
that
Mm-hmm.
time, right? Being from the
Yeah.
Caribbean, like it's very impressive what he was able to do.
Yeah, and I mean, I was even reading, some of the things like the hotels themselves were like also like leading innovation like in the space, right? Even I was reading something like swim up bars in pools, like they were one of the first kind
Okay.
of
Okay.
places to have those kinds of features
All
and
right.
stuff like
I
that, which
see
is something
y'all.
it's just like
Yeah.
common, right?
You,
But
you, you ever like, I don't know if, well, you guys have seen Shark Tank, but you ever like have the feeling like when you watch Shark Tank and you always sit down and be like, you'd think that would be more common, like the way you, like when you just said that, that's what came to mind. Like, oh, that would
Right.
be
Like the
like
most
somebody needed
simplest
to
of
invent
things.
that. Like, you have a pool, you have a bar, it makes total sense.
yeah, yeah. But I think, I mean, it also kind of, for me, when people like that pass away, that are people you kind of like grow up hearing about or seeing as like the business people and whatever of your time, you kind of wonder like the stories and like memorialization of them, right? Like who are like, now that they've passed, they, I mean, he was kind of like already like sort of identified as a legend, but in a terms of like having like books and things like more content and stuff written
About the
about these
person. Yeah.
people, their journeys, that kind of thing. I'm
Yeah,
not sure they might be on him. I'm not,
Like will
saying.
he be in history books kind of thing?
Well, yeah, that too, right?
Yeah.
But I guess that also pushes our initiative of like promoting more Caribbean content, right? So that other people
yeah,
know of like this was the
Or
journey of
just
people like that, because it's through seeing those stories of people like that other people get inspiration of like I can do this,
or
yeah.
right?
just documenting our own
I agree fully.
stories
Yeah,
ourselves.
Because not
like
just for him, but other people
Yes.
like that, right?
yeah,
and
yeah,
and what was the journey, and where can you find that without like having to go and dig or ask, or wait for them to die and find out they did this and that, and that's how these deals were made and that
yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah. I think that is one thing we definitely sorely need. Like, I would just imagine that if he had been an American, there would be an Oprah special, there'd be a 60-minute special, there
Hmm.
would be
Hmm.
a Netflix special or Amazon Prime, like like there'd be something about it, like
Well, and them very well may have been in the Jamaican media, but the
yeah,
thing is getting that shared, to a wider,
audience,
audience.
Audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, whenever I see Jamaican media, I'm like, man, you guys are on point.
oh yeah, yeah. They I saw an award show and they were like, phew, definitely they very much celebrate their own.
Yeah.
So
I guess other things that kind of happen in this time.
Oh, I mean Saint
Oh,
Vincent.
that's what I was
yeah.
about to talk about.
Go
Like,
ahead.
so we're not gonna talk about that volcano that might be erupting, guys. Like,
Yeah, and that's like scary and a big deal because it's like all most of the Caribbean islands, right, is either volcanic or limestone, but a lot of them are volcanic. And I mean, we haven't, like, many of us, have not experienced that in our kind of lifetimes. But you hear the stories of Montserrat and Martinique and
yeah,
these
but they're
these
saying they're
places.
seeing activity in Martinique as well now.
Yep,
And in my mind, I thinking, boy, St. Lucia in the middle of that. Eh?
Hmm.
yep.
Hmm. So it's
we
only a matter of time before we Saint Lucia too. So
they were saying that it was, I believe, the Twitter account UE Seismic who kind of monitors these things like in our region. They were saying that because of the way the magma chambers are developed in the Caribbean, that the activity in St. Vincent and Martinique not supposed to, right? Not supposed to. Usually, in a normal year, not supposed to affect us, but allow for the asterisks because of 2020 and 2021. So, but
bruh.
based on the what they know about volcanoes in the Caribbean, these two volcanoes, even though they're on either side of us, not supposed to affect our volcano. But yeah,
Yeah,
do
well,
with that what you will.
yeah,
I seen somebody go sulfur springs next week and the water just extra hot.
Oh my gosh.
boy.
I know this is so bad, but the only thing that's running through my head right now is that song. Do you all know the song?
Which
No,
Oh,
Volcano
God.
classic. That's a classic.
kicking up, so near up, and the lava
Now,
getting hot.
now you know our people. If that happened, if that thing start to show
Uh,
activity, everybody will be on the beach singing that song.
oh my god. I remember I was in like primary school when that song came up and they made like a whole dance. Ash in the
Yeah.
Wow.
And then the following year, I think he did like earthquake. Earthquake,
air.
water, earthquake.
Who sang that?
Ah, boy, I'd have to
We'll have to
ask
look
like
it
a
up.
radio personality for his name because
Right. So, anything else has gone on,
Oh
guys?
yeah, I
You know,
mean,
come on.
I don't have this.
Latest.
I don't have the particular cases, but we can talk for a moment on. All
well,
right, COVID
ba-
segment and
No,
like
no,
all
yes.
these Caribbean
Barbados,
Barbados.
countries.
Let's talk
Saint
about.
Vincent.
No, no, no.
Barbados, St.
Let's talk
Vincent,
about the
Cayman
Barbados
Islands.
drama first. Okay? You'll have to talk about. No,
Yeah.
I lied. Let's talk
So,
about the fact that they find the girl, the one that was in Cayman Islands, right?
The one
uh
that
huh.
broke out
The
of
one that broke
broke out
out.
of
She broke out
quarantine
of quarantine
to go
to
to
go to a what was it?
some
Some
competition.
competition. Was that surfing competition? I don't know.
I want to say
To
jet ski.
jet ski to meet her boyfriend.
Yes.
Yes.
So they finally find her. I think it was what 5 grand or do 4 months in jail,
They were
right?
gonna put her formant no matter what, and then U.S. media picked it up and all of that, and they were saying, "Oh, how could they?" Blah 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 blah. And then Barbados is another one now.
No, no. Before we get to Barbados, I have a question. I just have a question. Why do people believe that they can go to other countries and the laws just don't
Do
apply
not
to
apply. Yes. Okay.
when we come to their countries, the law applies to us. We must follow the law to a T. If we break a rule, oh, why you didn't follow the law? But they
Mm-hmm.
can come to our countries and just break the law, just do
Mm-hmm.
what they want, lawless, wild.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
I mean, you could start a whole series. They locked up abroad COVID edition.
Probably because God knows how many of them probably break out and they have to arrest them and throw them.
Well, and that's the thing, right? I mean, even before these few instances started getting more popularized, when this whole allowing people back into the country started coming in, there were people intentionally trying to break the rules, leave their hotels, break out,
Exactly.
that kind of thing. It's just like a lawlessness and and a blatant disrespect, you know. And when now the countries, as they should, are coming down hard with the hammer, right? Then they want to get scared and make noise. Oh, but da, 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 you know.
And that's the thing that bothers me, because okay, move past Caymans to Barbados.
Mm-hmm.
When they go and they get put in the quarantine, they force them into mandatory quarantine. Then they go on social media and make disparaging comments
About
and
the
about the
experience.
experience and about the country. And it's like this is the rules of the country. They're doing it to protect their country and
Mm.
themselves
And the
and the
people,
people.
right?
How can you want to be mad at the country for following rules? So give us a rundown on the Barbados incident because I
Well, there were a few Barbados incidents, but and one
The
was
super
even like
spreader.
the super spreader.
the bus ride,
Oh
Yeah, that's
yes,
what they calling it, the super spreader
yeah,
event.
yeah,
the
Yeah.
bus,
yeah.
the last
The bus
ride.
scroll, the
The
bus
last,
scroll.
yeah, yeah, the last ride. The
Yeah.
last ride.
Oh my gosh. But
Mhm.
for Barbados, there was, and this is by no means like calling out
No, no,
Barbados,
no, no,
but
no,
it's
no.
just like
Not at all calling
there
out
are
Barbados. We just tell
similar,
you what happened in
yeah,
Barbados.
and there are because there are similar things happening in all other
Yes,
countries, right?
all
But these are
countries have
just
this
kind
going
of
on.
stories that we shared amongst ourselves. One, there was a bus scroll, so for people not from Barbados like us, Twitter was like, "What's
Yeah,
a bus
I heard a bus
scroll?"
crowd. I'm like, oh, what?
So in Saint Lucia, we call it around the island, but
Right?
I understand now that other islands probably don't call it a bus crawl or around the island. So what do you
Yep.
call that in your country when you like get on a bus and you make like
You'll
different
just go.
stops to bars
You'll just
along
go
the
bar
way?
hopping on the
It's
bus.
essentially bar but it might not be like you'll stop at the beach,
Yeah,
you'll
you
stop
stop at different
wherever.
sites,
Yeah. But for St. Lucia, we literally go all around the island
island.
and like make
Yeah,
a whole day of it. Well, Barbados, there were some prison officers and other officers
yeah.
that were participating in a bar crawl,
A bus scroll.
bus crawl, and it ended up being a super spreader event that had however many cases. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
I don't remember because I also think some of those from the bus crawl who got it when they went
From
back
the
to work,
prisons,
they infected people
in
at
the
the prison.
prisons, yeah,
Yeah,
so y'all can imagine how much of a mess that would be. But I mean, just even in prisons in general, right? Like
yeah.
just being in close quarters and that kind of thing. The other Barbados thing is there was I don't remember her name or the circumstance, but it was another like celebrity that was vacationing or whatever in Barbados, breaking whatever protocols, and they came and hammered down either on like some sentencing time or fining or something like that, and they were making noise of like oh, as if they're just trying to make an example of her because she's a celebrity and blah 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 blah. And not even know like A-list anybody, yeah. But anyway, and the third thing in Barbados, which I think is what Vinan and Danny are more hyped about, is there was this woman who came in a party of 10. They were in some kind of villa and then had to do a second round of testing, and in the second round of testing,
Wait, this was the second round of testing they did. I don't. I'm not to
yeah, they
interrupt you.
came in with a negative, they all came in with negative tests,
And then they did a
the
test.
test when they arrived, that's required.
Yeah, but it
And then
wasn't after they did that test they found out she was
yes, after
positive.
the second test, she got
Oh, okay, okay. I said
she
saying
was the
sorry.
only one person in the group of 10 with COVID,
Yeah, who came out
asymptomatic,
positive.
whatever. So then people, the government or whatever, came in there with her hazmat suit, say you need to be moved to quarantine, whatever. So she was then separated from her family.
Rightfully, before you continue, I mean, just
Yeah,
guys,
protocols.
logic dictates, right? 10 of us in a villa, we living it up. Somebody come and say, hey, Anushka have COVID. You'll expect them to transfer Anushka to a secure, you know, to
Mhm.
isolate, right? Now, that's what
Mhm.
I thinking.
Right, right.
Right, Adani? Like, they can
Right.
say Anushka have COVID. You say, okay, well, bring Anushka to the facility for her to, do her 14 days and recover, right?
Right.
Okay.
Well, sis was taken to quarantine, and sis had a problem with that.
Sis was not happy. She thought she could have quarantined in a villa.
And her party, the other people there with her then decided to leave and leave her in
So she was
Barbados.
even more mad.
And she was just stuck there until she could get a negative, test to quote unquote recover and leave. And she created a Instagram account documenting her whole stay and taking pictures of the food and
Mm.
the accommodations and like all kinds of things. And I caught onto it after, I guess, it exploded and exploded in her face and all of that, because there were tons of people who found it. But when I found the profile, all of the comments and all of the captions were gone. But
So
what
she
I
had gone
suspect
back
is
and
she was
deleted it.
saying things that were
Disparaging things.
right.
Yeah.
But to me, I scrolling through and I'm like, damn, quarantine in Barbados is lit. I was like, okay, that's a nice snack plate. Okay, y'all got berries. Okay.
So
They had entertainment. They had people in carnival costumes, like behind a fence, doing like dance for the people in quarantine and whatever. They had ham on Christmas.
so um
Oh.
so Anushka was telling me about this and I immediately had a problem with it. And my first issue was in the US, if you are in a hospital, you know you get in trouble if you take your cell phone out and take pictures in said hospital, right?
HIPAA.
HIPAA laws. They say about you have to protect the other patient's privacy, you can't take pictures and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And this lady was just openly there doing that. And she got mad when people got pissed at her for it.
Mhm.
That was my first issue.
But this is the entitlement problem that
That
is
is my
also
next issue.
common,
It's
right?
a lot of what was being said. It was all entitlement because you read an article for me where she was saying about, oh, she didn't do it to harm anybody or anything. It was just to document her experience
And share with her
and
people
share with her
people,
people.
yeah.
And and to me, it was like if it was for you to share with your people,
Keep it
you'd have just
private.
put it in a group chat.
Oh yeah.
You wouldn't make a dedicated Instagram account
Mm-hmm.
just for that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was it's little things like that I kept seeing, and it's like,
Man,
yo,
here's
like
the thing, yeah. I Let me tell you, I love that we're from beautiful island and we are open to sharing, our lives and how we live and the countries with other people. But there was a tweet that was circulating over the break that was like, I pray that the Caribbean countries can free themselves from the shackles of tourism,
I agree.
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was
Facts.
circulating hardcore. But it's like very true, because it's like, because we're so tied to tourism, and this is not by any way us, saying we're 100% against it, but it's like that kind of at this it's like pandering to people with these attitudes and whatnot.
We
It's
allow them
like
to step on us.
yeah, and it's like we taking a stand for ourselves, our people, the health and welfare, and doing
Mm-hmm.
what's right, and then getting bashed, like ugh. It's kind of like if you had your house, right? You don't invite negative energy, negative attitudes. We're not out here having open houses to our homes. You know what
Well,
I mean?
to refine what you're saying, you have your house, you do allow somebody to come in and track mud all over your house.
Correct, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, let's
And they
say,
want to be pissed that we're not allowing them to come and track mud all over our house.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because let's say even if you had to open a house and had people like coming
You tell them
in,
take their shoes off at the door,
yeah, you're not having nobody just writing on your walls or
jumping on your
your
couch with the
couch.
shoe on,
Exactly.
you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Take your shoes off at the door. Like,
Here's some paper if you need to write the rest on my walls. So my thing is, if we come and do that in their country, they mad at us. They
Mhm,
locking us up.
mhm,
They deporting us.
mhm,
But we just supposed to let them. We accommodate them. We put them in a nice little accommodation and give them entertainment and
mhm,
nice
mhm.
food and all kind of like
It's not good enough, right?
what?
Anyway, so let's get to the main event of
No,
this.
no, no.
No?
One more thing,
Eh,
Anushka.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The little girl, Gail King. The girl tell Gail, Stop." Adani, you had to have seen this.
Yes.
Dan-
Quality entertainment.
Adani, do you want to explain it?
Oh no, go ahead.
That was I watched it and I was like, yo, this is entitlement live on display. Because she said so many things. Okay, first of all, apparently, I think it was sometime last year. Yeah, it was sometime last year.
We're talking about the same girl, right? With the cell phone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes. A girl, she lost her cell phone and
Let's stop. Let's stop for a moment. Let's stop for a moment.
a white girl,
Let
22
no
years
no
old.
no. Let us stop. She herself described herself as a 22-year-old girl. You describing yourself as a 22-year-old. When you're 22, you're describing yourself as a
I don't know
girl.
if she said girl. I think
She
she.
did.
Oh, she
She
said
did
girl.
because
Okay,
it touched me.
okay.
It
Right?
touched you.
When y'all were 22, you were describing yourself as I'm a 22-year-old boy. Right?
No. Well, you have to think, Anushka. She's saying that to
But that's what I
pander to
saying
get
because you
sympathy.
yourself calling yourself a 20 I'm a 22-year-old girl. Yes, you are a girl, you are a child for behaving like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, go ahead.
So she was in a hotel
She was in a hotel.
in New York.
She lost her
She lost her
phone.
phone. So she started frantically looking around for her phone. And apparently, she claimed she was by the door of the hotel because she told the hotel manager, and the hotel manager was trying to help her locate it. So while he was doing what he was doing, she was doing her part. So she was by the door of the hotel, stopping people and asking them if they had the phone. So she stopped this young boy. I think he was what, 16?
A
A
teenager. I don't know
teenager.
that
Yeah,
she stopped him. She tackled a
she
boy.
tackled the boy. She attacked him, accusing him of having the phone, saying, "No, you're not leaving with my phone," grabbing him and throwing him to the ground, all kind of things, all over her cell phone. Later, turns out her phone was at the front desk of the hotel. The hotel had a phone, the boy never had her phone.
And the
So
boy's father got
the
involved
boy's
because
father,
it's
because
like
he's like, "Yo, you hitting, you're attacking my
first of all,
son."
it's physical assault
Yes,
what she
she
did to him.
assaulted the boy. So I think the father had to, he grabbed her and tried to pull her off
Yeah,
his
and she
son.
was just wilding out.
Yeah,
And so then she goes on this interview, Good Morning America or whatever, with Gail
Gail
King.
King, Gail
And first of
asking.
all, I just feel like they should never give these people an outlet to
Well, here's the thing. I think Gail King's intention was to give the girl rope to hang herself. And Homegirl did it, eh? She hung herself exquisitely. From the glass chandelier with the lights on. She
From the
hung
time
herself.
from the time she said, I consider myself to be a nice person, I was like, ooh, classic.
Danny, so
Right?
I thought it was just
How
me.
many people who are actually nice? She said sweet.
The
How
moment
many people who are actually sweet people say, I consider myself to what?
Danny, you hit the nail on
Classic.
the head. The
Classic.
moment she said it, I was like, no, no, no.
One of
Classic.
these. And
Classic.
then she
Like
never apologized. Like her thing was apologize. I'm apologize. I am sorry that
They
they thought
feel,
or
yeah.
they
yeah,
feel.
yeah,
That's not an
yeah.
apology,
No
right?
accountability
And
at
then when Gail is
all.
calling her out, she says, what was the phrase? She put her
She
hand
puts her
up
hand up,
on the
like so, like
Zoom.
almost like enough,
Enough, Gail.
enough.
And
But
like, first of all, you should be saying Miss Gail.
so
Like
y'all want to know what bothered me most of all about this whole interview and incident? She made a comment, and I don't know why it really struck a nerve. She said, "Oh, when has it ever been a crime for
Mm.
somebody, for a white woman to accuse a black person of something?" She said that, and
And therein lies the problem.
I was like, "You cannot be serious. In the history of this earth existing, white women have made it their business to accuse black men of things that they did not do. And most times the black men go to prison, they die. Other white men come and gang upon them and kill them, hang them, and all kind of things.
But
And
she's
you sit
right.
there and you
She's
say
right,
that?
Vernon. It has not been a crime. It has not been a crime for
Well,
them.
well, homegirl got arrested, guys. I want y'all to know that.
Ooh.
So, guys,
After the
I don't know
interview,
if
they found her.
I don't know if they are still called if she'd be a Karen or there's another name for these or whatever. But
She's a Karen.
they're back in 2021.
Well, we have Karens and Elizabeths now. Apparently.
Elizabeth are the
Elizabeth, this
missed ones.
yeah, Elizabeth just do the crime and be shocked when the consequences happen. Like, oh my
Well,
god.
she's an Elizabeth then.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
an
she might be an
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. Yeah,
So
yeah.
speaking about Elizabeths,
Oh
transition this week.
boy, oh
Danny,
boy.
take this one.
That one started off hot.
Oh, well, are we talking about the one who stormed the Capitol?
No,
Yeah.
no, no. Well, before you get to the capital
What?
storming, you have to start with what led to the capital getting stormed. You know,
Oh, we
because he was,
talking about Trump?
yeah, the Cheeto, and how the Cheeto was angry and he was tweet. Well, first of all,
I think
and
everybody, I don't think we need to explain
no, no,
the
Yeah,
series of events
guys.
because everyone
From
knows
one
what
more thing
happened.
from since
before we get,
last from since last year.
From
yes,
since what year he got elected?
16.
From since 2016, okay?
No, but before we get that, you'll have to talk about the fact that he was caught on phone telling the person in Georgia to find 11,000 votes, Missy. We can't look over that. Like, you're really
That's
good.
like, but that's not news. That's like he been doing that for 4 months. So,
Yeah, but basically, they catch him on the phone, like
Yes.
live
Yes.
recording,
but
dog.
here's the thing. That's not even what they want to in less than 2 weeks left. Want to impeach him for, impeach him
That's the
for
funny part, you know.
because there's worse, Vernon. Like, why are you
Okay,
acting like that was such a horrible thing?
okay, I'm sorry. Hit me with what happened. Hit us with the capital.
Everyone knows what happened. I was hoping in 2021, in these 20 days, waiting for good old boy
In these
Joe,
COVIDious
that
times,
we
according
wouldn't
to
have to say the T word on the pod.
Bruh.
However, homeboy was trying to hit it into the park,
Oh, Mick couldn't go out silently.
right?
Coup
And
d'etat.
let's call it what it was, a
Cool.
coup. Coup.
A bunch of terrorists came together to storm the Capitol.
And here's the thing, y'all. We were listening to it. I mean, this did not come as a surprise. Everyone knew that people were going to be there protesting, whatever. It had been spoken about online for how long, and you know, I'm not even surprised that he told them to do it and that there were people who were going to do it. My
Not surprised.
biggest thing in the whole thing is that security, whatever, nobody was taking
Non-existent.
this seriously. And I
I've
think
seen better security at
the
Walmart.
big yo, but the biggest thing for all of us, I believe, because I'm pretty sure most of us listening to this are people of color, Caribbean descent,
They
whatever.
got pepper spray light.
We went through Black Lives Matter in June.
You saw the
We
pepper
saw
spray.
what we
You saw the
saw
tear gas.
for peaceful protest, and then you know we start the work week. Monday we work, Tuesday we work, Wednesday we say Wednesday, okay, we're gonna get through the work day. It feeling like a long week. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, boom,
All shit, all hell
insurrection,
breaks out.
right? And then you see in this, and we witness the violence and fairness, all of that, right? And
I
if
mean,
that
first of
wasn't
all,
white privilege,
No, no, no.
which employer is giving black people a day off to go and
And
like
protest.
yeah.
When Black Lives Matter was going on, people said they lost their job because they wanted to go and protest.
Yep.
Yeah.
hmm
So
well, and here's the thing, people online posting, I'm leaving on my private plane to go to storm the capital, whatever, whatever.
okay,
And here's my thing, just one of these people, one of these quote unquote supporters, is dangerous because they come in with military background and armed
Mm-hmm.
and all of that sauce. You letting a whole bunch of them get up the stairs. I
so
understand there was stuff happening inside, right? But y'all did not prepare for that.
so I
Like,
go
what
to,
went wrong there?
before you all get into what
White
went wrong,
white privilege.
I go to give you all my whole thoughts and feeling on this, because on when this was happening, I didn't say much. I was laughing and whatnot, but deep down inside, I felt away. I felt angry. I'm going to be honest. And I remember I said that to you all in a group of Danny,
Mm-hmm.
especially when I saw the video of the man walking the lady down the stairs holding her hand. I
Mm.
felt great anger. And when the curfew came around and they were still lingering around,
Yes,
I was
y'all,
very
because we
angry.
sat down there. We sat down there. They say DC says curfew
6 o'clock,
6 o'clock. So we say, okay, we see the
six foot,
troops, whatever, start
6:02.
coming in. 6:01, 6, like you're not arresting these people.
6:45 still
6:15,
there.
6 7, 8
and
o'clock.
and that is when I felt the most rage seeing that, because when I saw that, I instantly flashed back to when the Black Lives Matter protest was happening in
Yes.
Atlanta, and they called the curfew,
Hmm.
and a couple were in the car going home. They just
The
have
Yes.
to be
the
caught
college
out.
students,
The
college
college students, they just
students,
have to
yeah,
be
two of
caught
them.
out when the curfew had hit.
Mind,
Now the
mind
police
you, they
smashed
couldn't
down
get home
window.
because police were blocking the road
Exactly, they were
Hmm.
in
and causing
traffic.
traffic. Yeah.
Exactly. The police came, they smashed the window, they
Pull them
tased the
out.
driver,
Yeah.
they ripped the passenger out of the car. And I'm saying, y'all treat them like that, but these people out there, y'all not doing them none of
People
that.
lost their eyes in
People
Yes.
lose their
you
vision
know.
in Black
Multiple.
Lives Matter protests.
Multiple people.
And over here, we holding people's hands and walking them downstairs. We letting them linger and dilly dally when the
Hmm.
curfew in effect.
Well, and here's the thing. I know a lot of people were upset by what happened, but there were people upset for very different reasons. There were people like us, people of color, who put the two and two together and said, if I was there and I so much breathed too hard.
Breathe. My girl, if you had make a wrong turn, if you're following Google Maps to go somewhere and you made a wrong turn and it took you to the Capitol parking lot, they probably would have surround your car with guns,
Okay,
rip you
right?
out, tase you,
Right?
everything,
And
eh?
then you're seeing all of, what these people got away with, right? And
And still
it
continue to.
and it's continued, and it's more and more blatant. But there are people who are like, oh, but this is our country and democracy, but they're not even seeing,
Hmm.
flashback to June. The big thing when we were watching this was when they were calling them protesters when they should have been calling them terrorists,
Terrorists.
Yes.
right?
Those are domestic terrorists.
And here's the
They
thing.
committed federal crimes. Remember back in whenever last year when Black Lives Matter was protesting, Trump went and tweeted, anybody who vandalized a federal building should get 10 years in prison.
Hmm.
Those people were in a federal building there,
Mhm.
on TV, on Instagram Live, doing all
Hmm.
kind of things, taking pictures. A
Well,
fella had a podium, a
yes,
whole podium.
he,
If that's not the definition of white privilege there,
yeah,
I don't know what
he's
is.
a Florida man, no
I
surprise,
saw him
and
got arrested.
has since been arrested. But
Yes.
the thing there is, they will also, yes, they will quote unquote the security, whoever people, whatever. At a point, yes, they were outnumbered, right? That's fair and that's fine.
They wouldn't have been
But
outnumbered if they didn't let them in.
listen. They were outnumbered, right? That's fair and that's fine. But here's the thing: for Black Lives Matter, they were also outnumbered, but that did not
That
stop
didn't stop them,
them
eh?
from
That didn't stop
arresting
them from
people,
busting people
taking
ass.
people by zip ties and busting people ass and
Okay.
whatever, right? And I
The
understand it's
miss, the miss was on infinite flow,
and
during Black Lives
and
Matter.
and gas
The
bombs
tear
and
gas,
all of
boy,
that kind of
them and
thing.
put the infinite ammo cheat code in, and it's they that have tear gas and bullets sent in for
Right,
people during Black
so
Lives
rubber
Matter.
bullets and
Okay.
whatever. And again, we don't know the whole story. Maybe because there were already two pipe bombs, they didn't want to lead with force and whatever to say that people let off another
Unsure.
bomb or whatever. But
Unsure.
then, massa,
The people were
okay.
taking pictures with the pipe bomb, eh? Like it was, oh my god, guys.
This
We're
is this
out
is how
here
serious we are.
sightseeing,
Mm-hmm.
selfie with the pipe bomb. Like what?
Mm-hmm. 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 But oh, I
It's
like
very glaring, the differences.
I said on Wednesday or whatever it was, I said this is so disappointing. And then Vernon said, you disappointed? But I was like, and I really had to think about it.
I
I
wasn't.
wasn't so much disappointed because it was not, it was surprising, but not surprising because we know what it is.
I was
We know what
expecting it.
it is and we see what it is. But the fact that it just continues to be so blatant and glaring, the polarization and the different standards for different
Missy,
people. And it came up again, right? All of this is that, you know, the police force and these institutions or whatever were never made to protect or serve
the black people, they were
us.
supposed to protect the white people.
Mm-hmm.
When people say we're the National Guard, we're
Mm-hmm.
the police, How you want them to put? How you want the National Guard and police to protect the capital if they're part of the
Well,
protesters?
and the best tweet I saw about that was nobody is asking
Nobody asked
asking
for
for
on
Miley
Cyrus
Cyrus
when
when
Hannah
Hannah
Montana
Montana
on
on
stage.
stage. That one got me. That one got me.
How we take the National Guard so long to be there? Of course, take them long. They have to leave the protest to go home and change to come back to where they call them. Duh.
And
And
that's
then
why
the
there were so
next
few.
day,
That's why there were so few officers in the
And then
beginning.
the next day, the FBI have the heart to come and put out a statement talking about they need help identifying the individuals. I would, if it was me, if I could, I would respond to them, man, hold your moral court. Because you mean to tell me, in this day and age, you telling me you didn't see all these people who are on Instagram,
Mm.
all these people on Twitter. You can literally go online and find the people, Anushka. You
Easily.
can literally go and find them.
Well, I even read an article. There was somebody in some educational institution somewhere that was tracing people and locating them who they were based on their facial recognition stuff that they've been, using at their university and whatever, right? So even if somebody like that can do that, right? Why can't these services? Well, because they
They
don't
don't want
want
to.
to.
That statement was the
And
setup for them to come and give you the
here's
excuse
the
that
thing,
we
for that
inundated by tips, so we can't find them. We're
for
going to
that,
drop it.
in the media the last few days, they've been saying, oh, they got this person and that person and this person and that person. And I think the last time I checked, it was up to 13 arrests or something like that. But it should have been
It's
hundreds
hopefully
of
hundreds.
arrests,
Come and tell
No,
you 1,400 arrests. That's
thousands,
what I want to hear.
right?
Thousand.
thousands.
Yeah.
I
Because
mean,
it
I
wasn't
looking
it
at the
wasn't just
pictures, and
13 people.
that's not 100 people.
Yeah. It
That's
wasn't
up to
just 13
thousands.
people out there, Danny. It was
Hmm.
thousands. You have to arrest
And
all
that's
of
the thing,
them.
yeah. And I get it's arresting for different things, right? Like who were the like leaders and whatever, but all of them should have, from the moment you crossed the line, you crossed into
You
that
see?
building,
Yeah.
Hmm.
you should have been arrested.
All of them vandalize federal property.
Hmm.
So all of them need to be arrested. Get
And
Hmm.
them.
there should have
Get
been
those
people
thugs.
arrested for breaking curfew, right? That too,
Oh
right?
yes,
All of that.
get those thugs, round them up, because that's what they say about the black people. Oh, why you do comply? You're thugs. So get those thugs, get them off the streets. Those animals. Yeah, that
Yes.
like yo. If it was any, oh, the US show they asked on Wednesday. That's all I can tell you,
Well,
bruh.
guys,
Russia and China sitting back and laughing. China probably called Russia like, "Dog, are you seeing this right now? Oh my god!"
so guys, I mean, that was 2021 week 1. Right?
That was like day 5 or 6 of 2021,
Yeah.
or day 7, something like that.
uh,
Like,
I-
wow.
and now it's like how many days left? 10 or 9 days left till his inauguration, and they talking about, do they like impeach and get rid of Trump, and evoke the 25th
They
amendment
say
now.
Pence don't want y'all to do that. All right, hear that. Pence then checked out.
Pen trying and get
Pence trying and leave, and you're trying to tell him and do more work. The man put in his 2 weeks notice already. I said, yeah, Mike, we're gonna need you to step up to the plate and do this. The man looking at like, nah, I go in. I'm
Oh,
The man done trying and work on his book deal.
gone. Right? The man trying to organize his book. This about do more work,
um
become president.
The
Work
book
up
name is
to it.
the Silent Vice.
hey guys, what's your view on the whole Facebook and Twitter only
And sure,
now?
a lot of people ban that.
Before
And look at
before
Pinterest ban Trump.
No,
They
no.
might even look up cooking recipes now.
before we go there, right? I
They might even
the
get a
best
little mood board going.
the best tweets I saw last
Shopify.
week
Yeah,
was
but then imagine if you're making Pinterest boards for
Shopify block them and Spotify block them and they might have a listen to music. Dog.
before
What
he
a lie.
before he incite a riot to some tracks.
Amazon, they might have to buy something. Amazon Prime now. Yes,
We start the fire.
um,
But the best tweet I saw was, if the United States saw what the United
The United
States is
States
doing
was
to
doing.
the United States would invade the United States to liberate the United States from the
and bring
tyranny of the
democracy.
United States.
Yeah, yeah. But to your question, Anushka, about how I feel about Facebook and Twitter finally banning him, um, in the case of Twitter, I feel whether this happened or not, Jack Dorsey is kind of ready to like give me the chalk already.
Does he been ready?
That
All
just
of
give him the
all
excuse.
of the things they had been, all of the features they had been working on, saying like this is false
Yeah.
information and removing the tweets
So
and all
that's
that.
the thing. I believe these people were ready to ban him, but they didn't have an actual reason
Mm,
because they didn't want to hear the whole freedom of speech thing.
hmm.
But then he incites this violence and
Violence.
whatnot. So that gave them the actual excuse they need. I feel these people have been ready and waiting to ban that man.
Mm,
So yeah, it
Yeah,
was about time.
but it's tricky, right? In the sense that I understand free speech and being able to say what you want, but uh, on the other end of the spectrum, right? The
well,
world doesn't work that way. You cannot just see
mhm.
what you want. Like people who say,
Exactly.
like, I want to
Consequences.
Well,
kill
and free
the
speech is not
Pope
just
or
saying
something along those
anything that
lines.
you
Like,
want. It's so long as it doesn't hurt and
yeah,
hurt
exactly.
other people,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Exactly. Now there are a subset of people who like to say whatever they want and then hide behind free speech,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
right? Now, what you have to understand is, right, although free speech might be a government or societal right for most countries, right? You doing so on a platform owned by a private entity. So
Oh
Twitter,
yes.
Facebook, Instagram, all these companies are privately owned. So what you can go up and stand and see on your front lawn, right, with a picket sign, right, and shout at your neighbors, right? You do not have that same privilege if you just go on Twitter and Facebook and whatever platform and just type out the same thing, right? They have their own rules, they have their own community guidelines,
Yep.
right? So you can go and be a KKK person in your backyard and Grandmaster Dragon some stuff and rope this, rope that, burn
So do
across,
Grandmaster on
right?
Twitter.
But you cannot do that on Twitter and expect to hide behind free speech. That is ridiculous,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So,
and Adani, as you say, they have the guidelines and policies, and as you can see, Twitter, in particular, have been diligently updating their policies over and over. So you see, they updated to stop the whole fake news thing.
mhm,
They update for violence, and so they keep making changes to try and get rid of those things. Because I get in their case, while it's private, they still have to walk a fine line in that they cannot censor every. They have to be careful not to become, mad censorship, because they can get in trouble for that. Still, somebody can still take them to court, at the end of the day, and say you censoring me, you picking on me, and whatnot. So, but yeah, they set a trap. In my opinion, then people set a trap and he fall for it. They set a trap with the policies and guidelines, and he, being the idiot that he is, he fell for it. He thought he couldn't do what he normally does, and boom, he is now banned. And then he
yeah,
went, and I think he tried to tweet some stuff from the actual like protest account
protest account,
itself,
yeah, and they moved it.
and yeah, they give that a chalk too. So they not playing.
The last tweet from that is like December 23rd or 22nd.
Yeah.
They move all recent tweets.
And then we
My
heard he try and get somebody on his staff. He try and get control of their account.
my question is, what happens after the 20th?
Mm-hmm.
Like, not just to him, well, mostly to him, because I mean, for the most part, right? I mean, he's not the most amazing person, but he had a life before becoming the president, right? He had his shows and his golf courses, whatever, blah 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 blah. So, like, does he get a chance to start a new social media account? Will they maybe entertain a plea for him, like, I am sorry for what I did, I'm no longer in that position, but I would like to
So
request my
so let
accounts
me
to run my business. Like, so like what happens after he's no longer president? Like, does
he
he
get
get
in social
access
media
back
account.
to his accounts? Does he have to start over again? Or
Start
like
over again.
like they have to make some new social media system just for him?
He go start over again. He goes start over again. But here's the thing, Adani. You see, you asking about social media. I thinking outside of social media, just on a whole, does he get away with what he just did?
Mhm.
His attempted coup.
Mhm.
Does he
I
face
think,
any consequences?
Mhm.
I don't think he does. I think he gets away.
yeah, I think he gets away. I
Yeah,
think
it's
just
like that
because of the
villain
way the
that's
US
looking
is,
in the shadows kind of thing.
He
yeah,
rides off into the night laughing.
I think just because of the way the US is, even though they are the pillar of democracy, air quotes,
Quote
they
unquote,
have
yeah.
these, they have the, they want to look good. So persecuting Trump in the public, I would not look good,
Mm.
right? Now, right? I don't
I
think
think I think the opposite. I think it would look good
it
that
would look, yes, that's
they
it.
yeah,
Sensibly, it would look good.
yeah.
But in the
But
US thinking, it
the
would not look
logic do
good
apply.
because you
Mhm.
cannot, you cannot have a president being seen to, have a weakness and they don't admit their faults. But logically, it would make sense for them to be fair and for them to do something about this. Now,
Mhm.
the IRS is a
Mm.
whole different other cup of
Them man
tea.
waiting.
So,
Remember earlier last year? Remember late last year? You said, "Oh no, he will get away with the IRS thing," and I told you, I don't think so. You try and make a fool of them and publicly they come in. If you thought they were coming before, they waiting. Them man waiting, and they want every last penny. Eh?
yep.
Every cent you owe them, they want it. So
So that, guys, in a nutshell, was
I have a question before you
uh
you wrap up. How do you all feel about the people on his staff or the people working in government now resigning now, talking about they they cast in protest they resigning.
too
How do you
little,
feel
too
about it?
little, too late. There were
Okay,
so many people who quit and resigned during his time in office, like early days,
yeah.
a year in, however many in, and
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. Those people, I give
For you
them
to do
rank.
it like two
2 weeks
weeks
before he goes
before,
out.
nah.
Yeah.
But then who was the White House person that used to give so many jokes? The one who used to speak on the podium. The guy.
Kellyanne? No, no,
No,
no. I
Sean.
know. Oh my god. Why
Sean
I can't remember the name?
something. He
I
was
know I
replaced. He was replaced by a woman, but he just checked out. He just like.
yeah. I know who you're talking about. Why I can't remember the name.
But yeah, don't resign 10 days before the company about to close and feel you did something. Come on,
Yeah.
relax. Like stop. Right? Like
Get to
like
divorce. Oh,
him
I'm resigning. Like,
he
really?
lost the election back in November, like the second
Mm.
week in November, and you were still there hoping for something. So stop this.
You
Like
were
yeah,
still let they stole the election, all kind of thing, and now you
exactly. So don't come here now and act like you some stalwart pillar of justice and Trump must be stopped because he crossed the line. Stop it. Okay, stop it. Stop it
I'm going to say
and hide
something.
in your cubby hole.
I'm going to say something, and maybe listeners or you all will say, "Villain, why you say that? That's so bad. You so mean and whatnot." But you see, all those people, they have a bunch of people who helped fan the flames of what happened on Wednesday. People like Ted Cruz,
Ugh.
Giuliani, all these people, Mitch McConnell, especially. You see, mate, you see all these people, karma going to have the way with these people. Eh? Let me tell you something. Eh? That's going to be the best comic rape ever. That's the best way I can put it.
I remember an
People are going to hit an
article.
all-time low in their lives.
Mhm.
They will be
I
lower than low.
I remember an article where soon after Trump lost the election for most of the world, the I forget who it was, but they were talking about how Ivanka Trump would fare because the social circles that she left, she had upset all of them. So
Okay.
how was she going to fare now, going back into that lifestyle now that
Well,
she couldn't be a White House aide? So I think it'll be very interesting to watch the next couple of months how all these, pro-Trump people are going to now try to adjust in society, and then of course they're going to be trying to hold Biden accountable for the same stuff they let Trump do, like like with a blind eye.
um, here's my thing. All these people are going to hit rock bottom, and I want when they hit rock bottom and their life at the lowest of lows and they feeling, boy, like they can't even go. I want them to remember that is their doing. They put themselves in that situation. all the bad things they did, all the bad things they sat by and let me get away with,
Mhm.
that's karma coming back and repaying them for it.
Mhm.
That's what's going to happen to them. You sit there and you tweet out stupid things about this still election and storm the capital and stop the count, and these people resort to violence and do all what they do. A police officer loses life in that. Huh?
Mhm.
You mean to tell me before last year during Black Lives Matter it was Blue Lives Matter? Wednesday, Blue Lives were insignificant. Eh? You all didn't care.
Exactly.
You pull a police officer into a crowd and beat him. Where
Exactly.
was Blue
It
Lives
was
Matter
never.
then?
It was never about blue lives
It's
mattering. It was
never
just
about
about
Blue Lives
black
Matter.
lives not mattering.
Exactly. So when these people hit rock bottom and their life turn to shit, I hope they remember all what they did. That's the chickens coming home to roost for them.
Mm.
That's what
Mhm.
happened in there. Yeah.
I agree fully.
That was very powerful, baby.
Yes, very, very
No,
powerful. It
I
needed to be
didn't.
said. It needed to be
Yeah,
said.
it needed to be said, and because I didn't say much. You see, when this thing was happening Wednesday and after first, I didn't say much about it. I laughed about it because a lot of it was funny to me, but I felt a way about it, yeah, because I saw how black people protesting quietly got treated,
Mhm.
Yes.
and then I saw what these people were doing on Wednesday, and a little again, the police even helped them, eh?
Yep. Take selfies. Walk
Yeah,
them out. Talk to them kindly. That these factors and rules never came into play when it was a BLM match. I
I have a
remember when
picture.
BLM was in Washington and
Ye-
the,
okay, you saw that picture, Danny? How the
yes,
people were on the Capitol steps, guns,
exactly.
full suit, like
Where
they
was
go
that?
into war for some people peacefully protesting. And on the day when these people were doing the thing on Wednesday, the scene was nothing like that. Huh?
Yep,
Me say,
exactly.
2021, I have a picture in my phone of the man inside the Capitol holding Nancy Pelosi
Mhm.
podium. If anybody tell me racism and white privilege do exist, I replying to them with that picture. That is my response. Because if that is not the definition of white privilege right there, I don't know what is.
Mm.
A man was in Pence's chair on the Senate floor,
Mhm. Mhm.
Mhm.
just cool out there with his foot up, scrolling on his phone.
Somebody took Nancy Pelosi's mail from her desk and went outside and had a
Yeah,
picture outside,
with
right?
her mail, her actual physical mail. That's a
Which is a
crime, eh?
federal crime. Federal crime.
Federal crime, eh? Yeah, this is America,
Don't-
guys. On that note,
Yeah. I mean, let's see what the rest of the year holds.
yeah,
For
let's see where you
I mean,
strap in for the
so
roller
I
coaster
think,
ride.
yeah, I do agree with that. I just wanted to um I guess highlight one more thing and then ask you guys a question, right? So the thing to highlight is that day was supposed to be about the hard work of Miss Stacey Abrams
Boy,
and all
hmm
those people in Georgia who came and
yes.
showed out and had been doing the work, right? Like I have a friend who has been in Georgia the last however many months working with the New Georgia project and going out there, and it's like the long hours and the things that these people were doing to get that win, right? And showing how um that's a different form of activism, and how instead of only protest, instead of protesting or being violent, how we come together and organize to make the change and live within the system, and that kind of thing.
they
And
did it in the system.
they did it in the system,
They
right?
followed your rules. They played by your rules, and they won.
Right, and
And
that
that's how y'all responded.
right, and that was overshadowed,
Yeah,
right, by all of the events that we just described, but that in no way minimizes the work
not
that
at
those
all.
people
Not at
did.
all.
And I think that should serve as inspiration, not only for a political front, but just the power of organizing, throwing yourself behind a cause and putting in the work, right?
Yeah, man.
Mhm.
And that change, change that people couldn't even imagine is possible,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
um
I do not want to hear black people don't vote ever again.
mhm,
Like I don't
Ever,
want
mhm.
to hear
Danny. Ever again.
Well,
Boy,
it.
and
Ever.
never see a
here's
thing
the
in your
thing,
life,
y'all.
oh?
I don't want it. I do agree, like black people, but it's like more than
That's everybody
black people
voted, eh?
only, right?
Everybody vote. Everybody and their
Um,
mother voted.
I don't remember
Mm,
the number
I
they said, but they said however many more people voted than in the general
Yes,
election,
sir.
right? And it was massive. And I think even if in the US, they're going to go through this period of another 4 years. Well, I mean, before the a general election, there's still all of these things along the way that make an impact. And the same thing for us in other countries and whatever to take note, be
You
it you
see
in
what voting
Canada,
can do.
UK, in a Caribbean island, what, come
When you want
together.
change,
Yeah,
go. Just,
and the thing is, you can be so much more impactful in a smaller community, right?
mhm.
So I know a lot of us even say, oh, government is what it is, and da 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 da. But if you really think about organizing and standing up against something, it's very, possible. Yes, you're gonna take the hits,
yes, it's hard work.
and yes, you're gonna be criticized, and there's gonna be some, you know fallout, for it. But anything that's worth fighting for, has some pushback.
Yep.
um the last thing I wanted to ask you guys is, we're now in a new year. That was a riveting, for lack of a better word, first week.
Hmm.
What do we kind of anticipate, foresee for the rest of the year? And what are you guys looking for 2021 for yourself?
Let's see. Expectations for the rest of the year. I think until the vaccine kind of gets widespread adaptation, I think it's gonna be 2020 plus one.
Mhm,
For lack of a better term, I think it's really as people really start to unravel and stuff really starts to unravel, people really get pushed to the end. It's only going to be more of 2020 until we get to that point. What I expect for myself, I just want to better everything I did in 2020, just better take it to the next level. Whether it be work, whether it be enjoying myself, spending time with my family, anything I want to improve in terms of my skill sets. And yeah, and just get life back on track, despite what's going on, just do the best that I
mhm,
can and thrive.
mhm.
Okay.
Bernard and I just looked at each other kind
Nah,
of a
man.
way.
2021. I'm going to be honest. I have no expectations from these people, from this wild world. I just rolling with the punches like I always do. Whatever happens, happens. With regards to me and my expectations for myself, and maybe just goals on a whole. Um, I have career things that I want to accomplish for myself this year, because last year opened my eye to certain things that I want. So I want to put myself in a position for me to have those things this year. So yeah, I just I'm working on myself, working on my career and whatnot. That is it.
Mhm.
Chilling. Otherwise,
I do like resonate with a comment you said a little while ago, like when you were ending that first discussion, where I do feel we do need to kind of buckle up for the changes and things that are gonna happen this
get
year.
ready to roll with the punches, dog.
Yeah, and but I do feel like it is gonna be like a big year of like change, transformation, innovation. And I feel like that's what it has to be for us to like get out of where we've been. I think the things that have been like exposed is also kind of like a breaking down and questioning, right, like of these structures and the way things have
Been
have been.
Yeah,
So how can we, step into, this the world that we want, to
Yeah.
live in. Um for me personally, um guys, I'm turning 30 this year.
Okay.
Dirty fruity.
I don't know
Cool.
about dirty. I'm not a dirty kind of girl.
A bit
Woman,
dirty too.
woman.
Okay.
uh, um,
Don't let Gil hear you. Huh?
Adani, enough.
I mean, 40 is a milestone, so congrats.
Well, I had
I,
a
I
yet,
don't
but
I don't know if we'll be able to celebrate like how we did on the
for
boat for
Christmas.
was that 28th?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but
Was
maybe
it? I
41.
don't
28 or
know.
27, we were on the boat. We had a grand
Yeah.
time. We had a cooler. Was vibes.
I
So hopefully
saw.
we can do that again.
Yeah, I think it was when we were doing that birthday that I set the Google Calendar thing
Oh
that
yeah,
came up for the
that's where
three
that
of
came
us.
from.
And
Hmm.
so last year, guys, we all got a Google Calendar thing pop up, and it said, "I didn't choose the boat life. The boat life chose me."
And I was thinking, what the hell is that
And all three
about?
of us are like, "Wait, what is that
Yeah,
from?" But I think it was from that birthday where we were on the boat and we are like, guys, just give us however many years, 3 years, and we'll be on our,
on our boat. Yeah,
or we'll be on another boat somewhere. And that didn't
COVID
happen.
laughed at us.
So I guess the next time we all get to meet up again, there'll have to be a boat ride in the
Yeah, man, for
in the
sure.
equation. But what I want for myself, I think it's just like, I don't know, like continuing to like live into like purpose and passion, doing more creative things. I need to get this body looking like what I want it to look like.
You know, my goal for 2021 is finally open my PlayStation 5.
Oh my
That's
gosh,
that's what
y'all.
it is.
That's for another episode.
Yeah,
So
Well, you
on
have
the
355
yeah.
days left.
At some point, I'll get to it. I promise. I promise.
all right. On that note,
It's been another episode of the Caribbean Millennials podcast. We are out.